So now that Soleil event is basically over, I thought it would be a good idea to have a recap of the event and look at what to me were the fails on the event itself, where they went wrong, as well as what can potentially be done to make it better for season two. We know season two is coming, we don't know when, but we would like obviously a lot of things improved and a lot of things changed. This is my personal opinion. Yours might be different. And if it is, obviously comment down below. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if your opinions are different or anything like that. And we'll take it from there. But otherwise, guys, let's go and have a look at my top 10 Soleil faults slash improvements. Hey guys, Mountain here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be discussing Soleil itself, the event as a whole, what my personal opinions were on it, as well as some of the opinions that I've noticed on Discord and things like that, as well as how I think the game can be improved, or how the event itself can be improved, and that sort of thing. So let's dive into it and see what my top 10 picks are for either faults or improvements sort of thing. But before we do that, if you do like KOA videos and you like KOA content, enjoy the game and you want more information about updates and golem marches and things like that, hit the like button down below. And then don't forget to hit the subscribe and the bell notification icon so that you can know whenever I make new videos and upload them for you guys. Right, let's have a look. I've actually got my little notebook here that I've written down my notes in. So I'm going to be referring to this as I'm going along. And we're going to start off with point number 1. Too difficult. This event itself was it was a lot of fun as a whole. The concept was really, really fantastic, but unfortunately in execution, some of it did fail and did fall apart. One of them being the actual difficulty level of the PVE aspect to the game, meaning the walls, for example, taking down the walls. Taking down that wall number 3, for example, was just insane. I actually created a video just on the fact of how difficult that wall was to take down. It was a running joke. I actually called the video something along the lines of the wall that even George R. Martin couldn't take down. I'll drop a card up in the top there for you if you haven't seen that video yet. Um, it was a funny video, but the the idea at the end of it was that it was extremely difficult. Um, so difficult, in fact, that the development team actually had to a part of the way into it adjust the difficulty level of the wall itself. And even after that, I think it was still a bit too difficult. Um, there were a lot of people on Discord whose kingdoms didn't manage to take it down and had to wait for the wall to automatically come down. That's all good and well, but you want to be able to participate. You want to be able to actually achieve something while you're at it, while you're doing the event. So I think the difficulty level of that, and like for example, the level 1 castles that were positioned, for example, behind the top 10. So what happened was, as we all know, the top 10 alliances from the build up to Soleil got these prime positions in front, all sitting by wall number 1, ready to build forward and attack wall 1, 2, and 3. And then there were spots at the back for the other alliances, and their main function at the end of the day, effectively, was to take those level 1 castles. Being some of the smaller alliances, they actually struggled to take the castles. Some of them couldn't take castles and had to get players to join from other kingdoms, or sorry, from other alliances to actually try and help take down the castle, and it made it extremely difficult. So I think The difficulty level itself needs to come down just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. Some kingdoms obviously did it without a problem, but there are a lot of kingdoms, including in our pairing, for example, the merged kingdom took longer to take down their wall than the rest of us did. You know, so it's these huge accounts that just couldn't do it because it was number one, not enough players, which we'll get into just now. But number two, it was actually a little bit too difficult. So I think bringing down that difficulty level will be very, very important. Added to that, to the development team, guys, when you guys fixed the problem or you reduced the difficulty, made it a little bit easier, you sent out a mail saying to everybody that um, they're going to receive basically not a reimbursement, but they're going to receive something as an apology. Okay. I know personally from I stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning because reset is 2 o'clock in the morning for me. And I stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning to take on that wall and actually try and enjoy the challenge. And I must have spent about 60,000 gold doing mega rallies trying to take down the wall before they made the adjustment. And the compensation I received back was an apology and 50 gold. That wasn't good enough. Uh, they said they were going to give the resources to return the troops that died and that sort of thing. We didn't receive enough resources. We didn't receive enough repayment for what had been spent in the game. And that was just me on my own. Never mind everybody else in my kingdom who had spent thousands and thousands and tens of thousands on gold trying to do mega rallies and things like that, trying to take down the wall. So your compensation needs a bit of work on that too. Okay, point number two ties into point number one, where I made the comment of not enough players. Point number two being only Stronghold 21 and above can participate. The problem with doing it like that meant that in a lot of kingdoms, mine included, a lot of players could not actually participate in Sorelais. What that meant at the end of the day is that we had our kingdom split. We had half our kingdom still stuck in our original 857 kingdom, and the other half in kingdom 20055 for Sorelais. There were a lot of empty alliance spots, and a lot of alliances that, for example, might have 80 members will only have, say, 40 that are actually in Sorelais because the other 40 don't actually qualify. And I think that that was a bit of a mistake because as a whole, the event was a lot of fun. And half the people missed out on actually participating and enjoying the event. I know a couple of people went crazy trying to get to that SH21. They were SH19, for example, and they pushed to get to 21. But doing it that way means that you're a 21 shell, you're a paper 21. You're not actually prepared for 21. So when you get there, you don't have the right troops. You don't have the right troop count. You don't have the right march size or anything like that because you've rushed just to get your stronghold to a high enough level just to try and participate. So I think for season two, it actually needs to be open to everybody. Everybody needs to be able to come in and participate and have fun together as an alliance and as a kingdom. Especially considering this is a kingdom event, half the kingdom being excluded kind of makes it no longer a kingdom event. Point number three, the 24-hour cooldown. There were a couple of things that in the beginning they said that you could go into Sorelais and go out of Sorelais, but if you went out of Sorelais, you would have a 24-hour cooldown before you could go back into Sorelais and things like that. Never actually appeared. Don't know where they went. I don't know what happened to them, but they were never there. So you could go in and out of Sorelais freely. 4 times for free, and then you pay gold thereafter. There was no cooldown for that, but there was the cooldown that they put in place for preventing people from changing alliances. Now, I understand the reason why they did it. People were jumping around alliances, and it was actually benefiting the alliance, certain alliances more than other alliances and that sort of thing. But the problem is, by implementing that 24-hour cooldown period, it actually does, excuse me, it does a lot more damage to the kingdom than it actually helps in general. There are a lot of players, for example, who have farming accounts or farming alliances and would jump from their main account, from their main alliance to their farm alliance to do things that side and come back that they could now no longer do. It meant being away from the game for 48 hours or being away from the event for 48 hours because you would leave your alliance for 24 hours, join the other one, and then you couldn't participate in the alliance events for another 24 hours. So 2 days goes past, you can actually do something. Then you got to wait another 2 days before you can do something in your main alliance again, which turns doing anything simple into a 4-day issue. It needs to be taken away. It really does. I understand that they went, okay, cool, here we go. We're dropping the cooldown for KVK, which was fantastic, and it allowed a lot of people to be able to jump out, join the KVK alliance, do KVK, jump back, and so on and so on. But if somebody was slightly late, once again, that meant that, or if reset for them, or at the time change for them is while they're asleep, for example, and they miss it, that means once again, 2 days, they can't actually participate in Soleil or the event or anything like that. So that needs to be removed. And I mean, just take, for example, Portal. Portal requires 48 hours to be in the alliance, which means if you're going to go back to your main alliance or whatever the case might be, you've got to wait 24 hours. Then you've got to wait 2 days before you can actually participate. So you've got to wait 3 days before you can actually participate in things like that. So the 24-hour cooldown needs to be removed. It really does. Whilst it did give problems, or gave more problems by actually implementing the 24-hour cooldown. Point number 4, the rewards. The rewards as a whole for Soleil were actually very underwhelming. If we go and have a look, for example, I'm just going to quickly switch over to the main game. Skip this. All right, so if we go to here, Kingdom, for example, your highest level for Last Master. Okay, Last Master. There we go, 6. The rewards themselves for taking Fort Oak. I mean, Fort Oak was the whole purpose, the whole main point of this. And the rewards that you get as the extra, the bonus reward sort of thing, is 50 speed ups, 250,000 food, 250,000 wood, 50,000 iron. And, well, I mean, let's not even talk about the amount of silver that you got out of that. Sure, the 150 Philosopher's Stones are fantastic, but the rest of the rewards weren't that great. And if we look at the rewards for the actual throughout the event itself for these basic rewards, defend the center. Your kingdom captured the central gates. Now, the central gates was a huge, huge thing. To get to that point, you had to break down 3 walls. You had to build to the first gate, take the first gate, build to the second gate, take the second gate. And what is your reward return? 8 1-hour speed ups, 5 5-minute speed ups, and 2 Philosopher's Stones. It's really not worth it at the end of the day, rewards wise. At the end of the day, it was a case of you were participating in the event simply because you wanted to join in on the fun. Okay. The rewards need to be good enough to actually make people want to go through, want to be able to stay there, want to push to take those gates, even though you're losing 10% of your troops on every single march and things like that. So the rewards themselves, I think, need to be revamped a little bit, and the rewards need to be in. Number 5, the duration. The duration of the event itself was too long. 2 months is just way too long. Yes, I think 1 month would be better if you could push it down to a 1 month period. I definitely think it would be a lot better and a lot more manageable and a lot more handleable. By the time that even 1 month had passed, there were players, a lot of them, who were already burnt out from Soleil. So pushing it into a 1 month period instead of a 2 month period would probably be a lot better. Yes, they shortened the period at the end, but by that point, it was already too late. It was already too difficult. The rewards weren't worth it, and it was too long. It just caused a lot of burnout, And it caused a lot of players to actually step away from the game for a while to take a break. So the duration of the event itself needs to be reduced, and I would say try a 1 month period and see how that works out. Okay, guys, that's going to be it for part one. Based on your requests, you guys have asked that I try and reduce the length of my videos. I usually go through a lot of information, that's why they're so long. So I'm going to cut this one here. This is part one, the first 5 points. Part two will be following it straight away. I will be uploading them one after the other. So you should see at the end of this video the pop-up for the part two video. Until the next video, guys, be good, be well, be safe. Bye.